Hello, my name is Kate Lateral, and welcome to 1000 Lies. Um, this came through as I think a visual novel. So let's see what this one's about. Much like the origin of our dreams, three youths forged their friendships out of unclear beginnings. The innocence of their childhood souls knew nothing of the ulterior motives that the jaded mind of an adult might have. It's a pity that no decision knows of virtue, a fabrication which lies beyond the chromatic spectrum of consequences that adults insist on simplifying only as either black or white. So they maintain that lies should not be told, lying is wrong. With empty words they wage their futile battle against human nature, pretending to know of what they speak. It's ironic how, rather than erasing lies by teaching us not to fabricate falsehoods, we learn to make them better. After all, who honestly seeks the truth? We only open our ears to the confirmations of our biases. And that's strange, because, in my opinion, there is no one who is more sincere with their words than the greatest liar of them all. I don't understand what that means. Notes fell readily from my memory, and onto the piano keys at my fingertips, recreating the trite sounds of Maestro Debussy's esteemed melody. Oh, I can't even talk. Played for no attentive listeners, in no grand auditorium. Only one man fell within earshot of my tune. As weak with his words as with his posture, he shifted his eyes about in a mixture of fear and doubt. Even if I were to close my eyes, I could draw his features in the void with nothing more than my memories. Every feature, every pulsing movement, the signs on his face that age had yet to win its long battle against his youth. I can still taste the crisp, bittersweet flavor of my mind gave to the air on the day I found him, staring so intently at the starry sky, as if he wanted to leave the rest of the world behind. That infamous night, quietly overseen by Maestro Debussy, would change everything forever. Come on, want to go see how haunted that mansion really is? The boy could hardly contain his excitement as he spoke. His two friends, his only audience, frowned in response, reluctant to give him their answers. They couldn't be fooled by such superstitions as ghosts, nor were they motivated to spend their time disproving their existence, yet somehow they just couldn't find it in themselves to say no to their eager friend, perhaps due to his eloquence, or, to be frank, his persistence. Their entrance was heralded by abandoned spiderwebs, ramshackle walls, and frayed curtains. Unfortunately, there were no specters to speak of. The boy had little need of his ghosts now, though, for the trembling signs of fear that gripped his friends served more than adequately as the entertainment for the day. So our intrepid leader took point, leading his exploration party deeper into the dust-veiled interior of the old mansion. He brought his attention to a single book laid atop an aging podium, a sure sign that no pages of content were more worthy of reading than those found within the centerpiece on display. Its words were still legible, if only just, and apart from the rest of its treatise on keeping close relationships unbroken, it offered a dire warning. Desecrating that which does not belong to you will bring nothing but punishment. That which you love will inevitably become the greatest of your fears. When, during the syzygy, 3 elements must become 2, which one will you discard? Bit of a spell from a witch's book, the 3 youths lacked the knowledge to understand it. Nonetheless, they would soon regret having brought life to the words upon the page. From out of the darkness, shackles appeared, and bound the 3 together with unbreakable chains that only they could see, doomed to keep each other's company eternally. Hey, do you think I could learn to play the piano? Are you serious? Why should I bother to teach you? You've had more time to learn than I have. No, that's not what I meant. I was just curious. Well, it's a simple question with a long, complicated answer, so here it is. No. What? Why not? Do you really need me to spell it out for you? You're the expert. It shouldn't be hard to tell me what's wrong. What's wrong? Oh, where do I begin? For example, those sausage links you call fingers. You think there's any instrument that would accommodate you? Sounds like you're just trying to make me go away. Never heard of anyone not being able to play the piano for such a stupid reason. I suppose that depends on your goals. You can bang away at the keys to your heart's content, for example. You're not very good at this pep talk thing, you know? It was a strange spell which bound the three youths together. Should they try to spread out and seek their own paths, the chains on their legs would grow tighter, keeping them together. But if two of them agreed to stay close to each other, they could grant the third prisoner an extended length of distance. The links on the chains were uninterrupted by obstacles. They only enforced the proximity by which its prisoners must be held. Still, they could find a way to live with the curse, with none but themselves being the wiser about it. How could anyone believe that three friends have been physically bound by a chain which eludes the sight of everyone but its prisoners, passes through all obstructions, and is untouchable to anyone else? Under the premise that they used to spend all their time together, none of them thought this incident would harm their lives too much. Using their imaginations, they could manage some ways to go on with their lives. In time, a change came upon them. Just as the origins of their friendship remained unclear, so too would it be difficult to pin down just what kept them united. The light of their childhood innocence would die a slow death, or perhaps even that innocence was another lie, fabricated to disguise the selfishness. These were the thoughts which plagued the leader's minds as he began to silently observe the faces of the ones he once called friends, who had now become unrecognizable to him, and unable to find the words to form his apology, he chose to simply run away. Come off it already. You didn't come here for a piano lesson. If you've got something to say, spit it out already. The kid merely choked on his words, unable to force his thoughts into the open air. You don't have to say a thing if you don't want to. You're a grown man, and you can make your own decisions. You don't need me to tell you what to do. Just know that every choice comes with a price. I don't want you coming crying to me later as if I was responsible for your decision. Through the corner of my eye, I could see that no amount of shaming language would drive him away, yet he still milled about in his own indecisiveness. I sighed audibly, making my displeasure with our status quo abundantly clear. Fine. Do you want to know what made me want to learn to play the piano? It had been an impromptu change of subject, surprising even myself. I was never one for improvisation. Bring a close to the piano's melody, I pushed myself away from the keys. I raised my hands up as if to display them alongside my words. I'll tell you what spurred me on to play this instrument. It was after someone told me the most discouraging thing, that with fingers as thick as mine I would never be able to play any instrument. So he ran, struggling against his own loss of breath until the cruel chains trailing behind rose up to remind him of their limited length. That would not stop him. Surrender was beyond his understanding now. No senseless witchcraft would be allowed to outperform his willpower. He didn't care about the blood or the pain. He would keep on running, empowered by his will, even if his legs were to break. The chain stretched with each step, with the metallic echo of the links breaking behind him. Groaning under the pressure, each link in the chain warped and bent to a breaking point, struggling to match the strength of his determination. So it was that the curse vanished into thin air, leaving no trace that had ever bound anyone together. Only then did he return to his senses to find what he had bled and suffered to gain, solitude in a barren land bereft of his peers. Even his footsteps had vanished in the trail behind him, he was truly alone. Never again would he be able to find the important people he had lost. Indian, I know how you feel about me, but, we spent a lot of time together. It's fun being with you, but, you're a great friend, so it would be better not to lose that. I'm sorry, Indian, I don't know what I'm saying. Why'd you have to confess to me, here and now? It's not you, it's me. Is that what you wanted to say? The truth is that, until now, I was your second choice, the backup in case the first didn't pan out. Am I wrong? No, it's not like that, I swear. That's precisely the issue. I'm tired of hedging my words with you. With everyone. I knew that nothing would ever be the same after expressing how I felt. I thought you would accept my feelings, and I was happy. I couldn't believe that someone like me could connect to another person. Although now I see it was all fake. I've been thinking about it, and now it's clear to us. Clear to me. One of us has been playing with the other's emotions without considering the consequences. And now you don't even have the courage to go back in spite of finding out the truth. Don't you see that with that attitude we can only hurt ourselves? I thought I loved and adored you, now I'm not so sure. Maybe I was deceiving myself all those times we spent together, or maybe it was just my lack of experience. The only thing I do know is that we can't keep going down this painful road. And even so, a part of me doesn't want to let you go, even if that means we're only friends, even knowing the suffering that awaits me. Siren, what are you thinking? How can you say something like that? Whispers spread throughout the classroom. As expected, we became the center of attention, and students from all of the nearby classrooms crowded down to eavesdrop. The pressure put on me by my current situation makes my legs begin to shake. Still, somehow I manage to look calm and composed. Come on, Ziva, Sierra. Let's take a minute and calm down. Don't you think it'd be better to talk about this later? The next class is going to start any moment, and I don't think... You're one to talk, Oz. Everything is your fault, after all. Well, what did I do now? So you already knew. Nobody told me that if that's what you're worried about. I figured it out on my own. I just had to put two and two together. I don't think I understand what's going on. Would someone care to explain? Yeah, Ziva, do it. Explain it to him. I wouldn't be able to forgive myself if I ruined the lives of my two best friends because I was selfish. I've already been rejected. Are you sure about that, Endian? I don't want to... Ziva puts her hand on my shoulder as she tries to cheer me up. I nod at her to indicate that she can continue, then I choose to walk away, leaving them in silence. Pushing my way past the crowd of students and a teacher, I head into the hallway without ever looking back. I'm running away, I know. But there are times when being a coward is the only way to survive on any battlefield. From the hallway, I can still hear what's happening on the other side of the door. I can hear the woman I love declaring her love for another man. Students inside the classroom suddenly erupt in various noisy reactions. The combined sound deafens everything else. Even then, there's still sound I can't ignore. My heart is broken, leaving me feeling empty inside. How foolish. I'm no more than a feeble cuckold, resigned to never leave his nest. My soul is sinking further into the drain of depression while the world keeps spinning. I'm unable to bear the sound of everyone else's happiness. My sanity is blinded by jealousy, which in turn causes me to retreat into loneliness. I'm not even a third of the man I used to be. For what reason should I keep this farce up? I'm sorry, Ziva. I would be lying if I said I didn't like you. Then what's the problem? There is no problem. You're beautiful, any man's ideal woman. I've dreamt of you many times, of us being together, going on walks while I hold your hand, even our wedding. I've dreamt of the house we would buy, the 3 kids we would have, the names we would give them. Us? But it's impossible now. Truth is, I'm in love with someone else. So it's true. I had suspected it, but I couldn't believe it. She's here, right? That's right, I'm talking about the new substitute teacher. Everyone's alarm bells go off. In unison, everyone's gaze shoot towards the entrance of the classroom. Standing there is the wide-eyed substitute teacher ready for her very first class. Tension causes her to drop her books. A soft, stuttering noise is all that her brain can process right now. Regardless, she didn't need to say anything, not before she got caught off by sudden hysterical applause. Great, how fantastic. I knew before that something like this might happen. Silence is deafening. You can see the pity growing on everyone's faces. It feels as if the Grim Reaper himself has sentenced them all to an ill fate. You had wanted to confess before Oz did. Both of us knew what he had been planning, and about his unrequited love for the teacher that the rest of the class hadn't even met yet. That's why we had to move on ahead, you out of fear and I out of despair. My words parted by the sound of my breathing and accompanied by the sound of my steps crashed down upon Ziva as I walked to my desk. Although the weight of her actions is crashing down upon her shoulders, Ziva manages to rise up again purely out of self-pity. Despite knowing that, you still took the risk. I don't understand you, Endian. I don't think I ever will. In the end, it seems the two of us had the same goal. I guess we're more alike than I thought. No, we aren't alike. My hand clumsily reaches for something to grasp until I can clutch something. While my face twists into a distorted smile, I convince myself that this time I'll really win and I won't let go. I can prove to you my love is real. I can show you just how strong my resolve is, Ziva. The scissors! He grabbed the scissors! Don't do this, CR. We can still talk it over. Endian, no! No! Taking my own life, I mercilessly pierced through my chest. I thought I was empty inside. What the fuck is happening? But my hands are stained with blood. I guess I can't change how I feel, after all. Goodbye. Ziva. What the fuck is happening right now? It's over! Mission accomplished! Endian is dead. Thank you. Thank you all. I hope you had as much fun as I did. The spectators began to clap. Due to Ziva's popularity, she receives the most attention. You can only hear them cheer her name. Seeing her play that kind of role is something new and bold, something the audience excitedly welcomes. A job well done. There's no better way to start the day, right, Compañero? Oz helps me get up. Then I shake off the ketchup on my clothes. My shirt is a complete wreck, but what can I do? It's a small price to pay in exchange for some laughs. We aren't known as the class clowns for nothing. We eat pranks like this for breakfast. You weren't yourself. You were beating around the bush too much. The hell was that about with the wedding and the kids? Believe me, bud, it's not every day you get a confession from Ziva, even if it was just acting. It's totally normal to start picturing things like a wedding and our 4 future children together. Wasn't it 3? A lot of things have happened since then, Compañero. Ignoring my friend's reproductive capacity in this dream world, I try to get the class's attention. The show may be over, but the MC still has something left to say. Please listen, I have something to announce. Be quiet until I'm finished, ladies and gentlemen, and Oz. How am I not a gentleman? Thank you for coming to our little production. I do hope all of you enjoyed it. But we mustn't forget to whom we dedicated this practical joke, someone who also had a small role to play. A round of applause for our already beloved substitute teacher. Please come up to the stage and introduce yourself. We don't even know your name yet. The target of all the shouts and whistles, our victim, stands petrified against the wall, even paler than before. At first she appears frightened, then she frowns until finally her scowl begins puffing air out of her nose. She scowls and begins puffing air out of her nose like an enraged bull. What other career action could we expect from our little prank? Right, the 3 of us end up in the principal's office. Alright, I'm gonna leave this one here. This is a lot of talking, and I think my throat is messed up. So if you want to play this for yourself, I'll have the link in the description down below. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!